Shyam Srinivasan joins us, Managing Director and CEO of Federal Bank. Shyam, so nice to have you back on ET now. Thank you for joining us. Now, for the quarter gone by, your NIM is up 19%. Highest the bank has reported. NII, not NIM, my bad. Highest the bank has ever reported. This is in line with what you've been guiding and you have exceeded your guidance. So what exactly has played out for the quarter gone by, which otherwise has been a tough quarter for some of the other peers?
I think, Nicole, thanks. Firstly, the quarter that went by, like you pointed out, our most heartening aspect, other than the fact it was our highest ever net profit quarter and many other first, so to say, highest NII, highest other income, highest profit. But specifically on credit growth, often the criticism of ours was that your credit growth is exceeding your interest income growth. And I'm happy this quarter that converged, which basically means the quality of credit, the kind of credit we are growing, and the income profile matching that is starting to sort of connect up. And I do believe in the period ahead, we should see this kind of convergence in NII growth being at or around credit growth, which is a good outcome for the bank. And as you know better, that it's just not one line, right? The interest income is a blend of so many other things that work through. How the cost of funds are playing out. And I think we've had very good deposit growth this quarter, just like we wanted credit growth and deposit growth not to be at divergence. We wanted to converge. So if you see in the sequential quarter, I mean, the quarter that went by, sequentially, we grew credit and deposit both 5%. And as a result, we grew market share. So it's a blend of many things, but I'm happy that the business mix, the deposit focus, and the branch expansion combined with our digital presence is all coming together quite well.
Your cost to income ratio now is at 50%, still higher. If I compare that with the last 7-8 quarters, why that number has gone higher?
No, I think the cost to income is both a consequence of some of the big investments we are making, both in people, branch expansion, and in technology. While I don't want to say that it's easy for it to track down, we think we have a path to getting closer to 50 over the next, say, 4 to 6 quarters. But I would not get too fixated about just adamantly reducing that and then shortchanging some other initiatives and investments. So it's a kind of a calibration. It's slightly on the higher side because of the residual impact of the wage negotiation related impact, but that will play through in the financial year 25. But we made some big investments in branch expansion. As you know, last year we added 140 branches. We may add another 100 odd branches this year. We are putting in more in digital and brand. Traditionally, our brand has not got the kind of presence that we would like it to. So we need to put some more money behind brand and technology, both of which are happening. Revenue momentum is gathering pace. So I do believe if this continues, I think it will start narrowing closer to 50.
We spoke about the growth earlier and you said that you were a big believer of rule of 72, which means that next 2.5 to 3 years, Federal Bank should double on all account.
I think I said this earlier also, Nikunj, and I always say, allow me the luxury to say this. I think growth for our bank at 20 odd % is very possible. And now whether it's 2.5, 3.5 is a matter of sort of dialing up. But I think we are very much on course for that kind of size of business. As you see, we have grown in my period 10 times in business size, right? So I believe we can, 8 times in business size. So I believe we can look to do that in half in the next 5 to 7 years.
Your peers are also confident of growth. It is good to hear that optimism in the entire sector is coming back. But banking, Shyam, we both know that it's a cycle. Do you think right now there is that peak which is there at play?
See, I think I can't argue with you on that. That's why I'd like to believe that Federal Bank's sort of middle word is balance. And I genuinely believe across many years, we've been true to that word. So if growth is available, we will be at that 20 odd %. if we see environment not conducive, I don't want us to be pursuing growth for the sake of growth. And history tells us that we've been quite measured about it. But these are longer conversations, right? If you take a CAGR of 15 to 10 years, our growth is 15%. But there were a couple of years where we almost degrew in some portfolios. So this long-term average, I believe, 15 can go up to 18. And at 18% growth, using your rule of 72, we can easily grow in 4 years. There could be periods where you grow 24% and grow in 3 years, double in 3 years. So I think this momentum, as long as you're not doing the wrong things and keeping at the sort of core intact, I believe banks like us have a potential to grow quite nicely, as we have done. And I don't see any reason why that should slack off. But constantly caveated with no cowboys, and to borrow regulators' word, is no adventurism.
So in your tenure, Federal Bank was up 8x, it grew 8 times. So what is your handover to your successor? You took the bank from being a regional bank to having an all India presence, from a brand which in a sense was very largely focused on small loans to big loans. Technology is what you've really managed to incubate at Federal Bank in terms of the back end and the front end. So what is the next leg of growth which shareholders should look forward to now?
No, I am sure Manian will come with his very good plans, and I'm sure he'll execute them even better. But I do think at the heart of it, more than size, we've been obsessed about most admired bank, right? And I think that's not going to go away, Nikunj. I'm 100% sure, and I've said this on many platforms, all leaders, me, Manian, whoever, we are a summary of our people. The team is intact. We have a solid team who is obsessed about building a high quality bank. So I would think certainly the next wave for our bank will be scale, size, prominence, all will become important. And I think we are getting recognized for all of that. But truly to be the most admired bank, is a moving target, right? Whatever we do is never enough. So this is going to be an obsession. I strongly believe the board is sort of resolutely behind it. And in all conversations with the new leader, I'm sure it'll be about how do we genuinely get to that space of being most admired. I mean, size is important. If we grow 20% per annum, we will get to a particular size. But that alone won't be enough. Size alone will not make this story. I think the quality of client experience, the employee engagement, the overall governance standards. We've had a deep focus on all this over the years, and I don't see it's become part of the DNA of the bank, right? I mean, whether it's X or Y as leader, I do believe these will be sort of lasting criteria, and I genuinely think my successor will do it even better than I have done over the years.
Now, Shyam, personally for me, I've had the fortune of interacting with you when you were Standard Chartered, track your journey in Federal Bank. So what's next for you personally? Because what I know of you is that the word retirement doesn't exist in your book.
I don't have an answer, Nikunj. All I know is I'd love to be in the space of giving some kind of advice to people who care to listen to my insights. I've had the fortune of having experience across geographies, across types of banks. So I'm hoping that I can share that with many and somebody will benefit.
So, Shyam, the time you've spent at Federal Bank, I mean, that itself is remarkable. But you look back and say that, okay, this was my most exciting time, this was my most challenging time when I really had to, when I was excited and when I was worried. So what was your most exciting moment and what was your most challenging moment as the CEO of Federal Bank?
I think both are the same. The aspiration to build something very special has been both the excitement and the challenge. And I often say the challenge is how do we get the entire troops to be as excited about the opportunity as some of us in the senior team are, right? And that's been one, both, I would say, inspiring, but carry everybody with you. Originally one geography, now a multi-geography, multi-ethnic, multi-organization. It's a fascinating challenge. very often rewarding.
All right, Shyam, really appreciate your time. So glad you could join us. Let's take
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.